So Dr. Luo, Dr. Xiang Roy has over 20 years of the strong leadership and rich international experience and outstanding local implementation capability at a senior position in the United Nations and other international organizations. And he currently is a co-chair of a global steering council of carbon neutral action. Thank you, Roy. It's very honored to have you here with us today. And he also provides strategic advice, social purpose finance, carbon neutral investment, sustainable technical and systematic solution to achieve the sustainable development goal. And also, from 2014 to 2019, he has served as a country director of United Nations officers for project service in China. He also led international cooperation with the Chinese government and countries along the Belt and Road in major sectors like food sector, healthcare, digital economic, and sustainable procurement, impact in investment, and other SDG relevant investment. He is very responsible, and he also in charge of overall management from strategic planning, fundraising, project implementation, government and private partnership, capacity building, public advocacy, risk management, and performance evaluation. Prior to that, he was responsible for, I better to share the screen because it's a really long and a very outstanding achievement, so everyone can read my screen. And because I know tonight there are some Chinese parents are reading Chinese, so you can quickly read it here. So Ms. Luo holds a PhD on business administration and had also served as a mentor for youth entrepreneur at MIT, a core expert for WWF, China's climate initiative, and the co-chair of social impact investment. So anyway, tonight I'm going to hand over the speaker to Dr. Luo, and I'm going to share the screen for you. And you just tell me like next, okay? Oh, by the way, I do have actually outstanding video from United Nations here. Let me find my screen.
I urge all of you to focus on enhancing your actions in pursuit of the 4 capabilities of leadership, practice, innovation, and collaboration with a view towards helping achieve the UN global goals. Indeed, everyone has a moral responsibility to act wherever they may be, and we need to see these ideals in greater frequency at the local, national, and global levels.
The former General Secretary for from United Nations. Everyone can hear the voice just now? Yes, right? Okay, so now I want to hand this introduction to Dr. Luo, and I'm going to share my slides for you. Okay.
So I'll give a brief introduction before I dive into the Youth Ambassador and UN Leadership Program. I'm currently a freshman student at the University of Virginia as a Jefferson Scholar and Eccles Scholar. I'm very passionate about youth leadership and ESG investing and sustainability as a whole. I founded my own nonprofit, United Under Arts, in high school, as well as a global youth, as well as a global networking platform for youth called Student Port, which is one of the co-organizers of the Youth Ambassador program. So before I get into the program application and the events, I'm going to highlight some of our co-organizers. So YEFA is, as Angie mentioned earlier, they are a New York City-based international nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering youth through financial literacy and business thinking. Another co-organizer that I wanted to highlight is Scholars of Finance, which is another nonprofit specifically focused on developing undergraduate students through leadership development, mentorship, and in supporting them to become purpose-driven financial executives and investors in the future. And the last one that I wanted to highlight is Student Port, which is a global community of about 1,800 student leaders running over 200 different student-led organizations, startups, and initiatives. So the UN Leadership Program dates are from March 26th to May 2nd on Saturday mornings, Eastern Time. If you miss a session though, there will be a replay in the future, so no need to worry about that. And the Youth Ambassador Program dates are April 16th to 30th, 2022 Eastern Time. And we are looking specifically for high school, college, secondary school students or young entrepreneurs from the ages of 12 to 25. And to apply, please apply through YAFA, our partner, yafa.org/program. In terms of what is required of the ambassadors and what we hope that they get out of it, we require them to attend all the key events, which you can find a full schedule of, again, on the YAFA website, and also to ultimately submit a proposal on SDG, carbon neutral, or impact/ESG investing by April 30th at the latest, or by April 15th, if they want to be able to possibly present at one of the ESG investing panels at the actual conference. And you can submit that either with your application on the YAFA site, or if you decide to submit later after the April 15th deadline, then you can also still submit on the YAFA site. It'll just be a separate thing and won't be the same as the initial application. And I will note here that the ambassador program and the training that goes with it into educating ambassadors about ESG investing and sustainability, that is all completely free. However, the official UN leadership training does incur some cost in order to support the teachers and the development of the program. But the discounted rate for YAFA members is $600 US. This is just a brief overview of the Youth Ambassador application. A few demographics and intake questions, and then there are 3 content questions, an optional short answer. We just want to get an idea of what you already know about ESG investing and the Sustainable Development Goals, and also what kind of skills and qualifications you might have and why you're interested in this opportunity. And then supplemental materials, a resume, and a proposal, again, if you want to be able to possibly present at the ESG investing panel on April 23rd. So before the actual conference, there will be an education session led by our partner, Scholars of Finance's CEO, Ross Overline, on April 16th from currently scheduled for 8 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And the potential topics that will be covered are overall history and future outlook of ESG investing, environmental, social, and governance. So like how it became so popular, future trends, legislation involving ESG, and also how ESG is measured. So the scoring systems like MSCI, which is a company that specifically scores different companies on their sustainability practices and their overall adherence to ethical standards, and also issues with the current way ESG standards are measured, such as lack of standardization. And then we also hope to talk about ways to incorporate ESG into investing. So there's several different ways that you incorporate environmental, social, and governance standards into investing decisions. And we hope to touch on some of those methodologies. And the last topic we're hoping to cover is career opportunities in impact and ESG investing. And then During the conference, as I mentioned previously, there will be a specific panel that all ambassadors are required to attend. And that is the April 23rd ESG investing panel titled Zooming into the Future, How Youth Can Impact Society Through ESG Investing. It will be held at roughly 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And currently, the panelists will include a current college professor and portfolio manager, several impact and ESG investing leaders that have a good amount of experience in that field, and a United Nations expert on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And as I mentioned before, there is an opportunity for some ambassadors to have their proposals selected to present. Up to 6 can be selected. But remember, if the data is wrong here, but if you want to be able to possibly present, you must submit your proposal with your application on YEFA by April 15th, not 16th. But otherwise, if you don't want to present, then you can submit by April 30th at the latest. So now I'm going to talk a bit more about the UN leadership training. But before I start, I wanted to just let everyone know that since this is developed by the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, they are headquartered in Geneva, and they, because of the time difference between us and Geneva, it's too late for them to be able to be on the call today. But they did send several videos that they wanted me to play at this promotional event. So let me just pull them up. So okay. Can you all see the video? Okay.
Dear friends, greetings from Geneva, Switzerland. My name is Julian Caletti, and on behalf of the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, I would like to welcome you to our online training programs on multilateral conferences and diplomacy and many more topics. The UNITAR and the United Nations here in Geneva is eager to train young leaders just like you, to bring you the knowledge, the skills, and the attitude that you might need to join the United Nations, to work in other places in the world, but with this, make the world a better place. So we would be delighted to welcome you in our courses and wish you all the best and good luck for your future studies.
So that was Julian Caletti. He has worked with the UN for about 10 years, originally from Germany, but has worked in multiple different countries. I have one more video for you. Give me a moment.
Greetings to all you young people. You are the hope and future of our world. The construction of a more peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous world will depend on your engagement, the engagement of youth. COVID-19 has made us deeply aware that all countries must further tap the talents of young people and cultivate more young leaders to address global challenges, including those generated by crisis in the economy, our societies, climate change, and health. In order to better support the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Youth 2030, the United Nations Youth Strategy, UNITAR has launched the United Nations Youth Leadership Development Program. This aims to promote knowledge on climate change, economic and social development, science and technology to younger generations. The program equally aims to enhance the leadership, communication, collaboration, decision-making, and creativity capacities of young people everywhere. Through continuous study, our participants will be able to better understand global issues and address contemporary challenges, learning jointly with people in their home country and from all over the world. Let us work together and make our own contributions for a better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
So the UN Youth Leadership Training is a very unique youth leadership development opportunity that was created through the collaboration of the United Nations Institute for Training and Research based in Geneva and the Social Impact Investment and Procurement Foundation in Hong Kong. So this in particular, this project is meant to support several future programs that the UN has planned, like the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Youth 2030 United Nations Youth Strategy. So we are hoping through this program that more youth will be aware of some of the most pressing current problems like climate change, economic and social development, advancements in science and technology. And we are hoping to use this training to encourage youth to pay more attention to these global issues and to figure out ways that they can start making an impact in their own community through sustainability. So the schedule, as I mentioned before, is it will be starting March 26th. However, since I know some of you may not necessarily get an opportunity to register before then, and some of you may not always be available at 7 to 9:30 in the morning, there will be replays available. And the content as currently scheduled, you can view more information again on yefa.org/program. But there are several modules. They will talk about all the various issues that I mentioned before, like climate change, poverty eradication, sustainability, etc. There will also be several. There will also be several guest sharing events, guest sharing dialogues. The first one will be on the United Nations and global governance. The second one is on youth scientific literacy and global competence. And the last one is on the metaverse. So after completing this training, there are a few things that we hope our participants will do. So the requirement is that we ask participating youth to select one of the following activities to practice in to make a social impact and to develop their leadership skills further in the real world. So the three activities are listed here, and ultimately they will ask you to submit at least one of the activities through the form of illustrations or videos to the expert committee. And it is possible that your work may be shared or published in relevant international events, so that you and your project will get more like publicity on an international stage. Now I'm going to talk about another event that is part of the general conference and the Youth Ambassador Program in particular. And this is the Digital Art Hackathon. This is organized by DESL, another one of the collaborating organizations. And they are, again, a nonprofit organization. In particular, their mission is dedicated to advancing blockchain technology and accelerating collaboration consensus needed for technology adoption. They also work on sustainability and bridging the gap between crypto and the mainstream society. So they will be organizing a hackathon, and you can register on their website, desl.org/hackathon. And the deadline to submit a digital work for consideration in this hackathon is March 30th. And then the winning artwork will be announced on April 16th. So in terms of what exactly to submit, there's obviously you have to submit a piece of digital artwork, and it has to somewhat have some relation to sustainability. And of course, it has to be your own original work. And they also want you to submit a brief 2-minute video introducing who you are and what the idea behind your work is.